Hello, and welcome to Appleton Engaged. I'm your host, Timber Smith, DEI coordinator for the city of Appleton. And Appleton Engaged is a podcast that explores the many people, organizations, and resources that make our community a great place to live, work, and play. So, whether you're a longtime resident or just getting to know Appleton, join us as we learn more about our community together. Once again, we are here. We are excited to be here. And of course, we are super excited because once again, we have another amazing guest and a really, really fabulous resource this week. This week's guest is Maria Van Laanen, President and CEO of the Fox Cities Performing Arts Center, or as we all know, the PAC. How are we doing, Maria?
I'm doing fantastic, Timber.
All right. Fantastic. I feel that. There's fantastic energy.
Absolutely. It's good to be here.
Can you please tell us about yourself and your association with Appleton and the Fox Cities region?
Yes, it is hard to believe, but I moved here to the Fox Cities now 22 years ago to help open the Fox Cities Performing Arts Center. So I've been in the community enjoying all the amazing amenities and activities and atmosphere that this community has to offer.
Okay. 22 years.
22 years.
I think that makes you officially like a community transplant.
Am I an Appletonian now?
I think, well, I don't know.
I
I don't know if I get the right to bestow Appletonian on anyone because I'm not an Appletonian yet, but I'm working on it.
There we go. I think it would be an interesting question for the listeners to weigh in on.
All right. We're listening. Listeners, please let us know. Can you please tell us about the PAC?
Oh, I'd love to. The Fox Cities Performing Arts Center is a local nonprofit arts and cultural education organization. We focus on providing world-class arts experiences, and really our key as a nonprofit organization is how those arts experiences can build these meaningful connections within the community to help people experience the world and hopefully see the people around them in different ways as they learn more about what's happening in and the history of other cultures.
Can you share some examples of what is an arts experience?
Ooh, excellent question. What we look at the Performing Arts Center is we want to make sure that everyone in the community feels welcome. And that starts from your very first interaction. And anytime you're moving throughout the building, we have incredible volunteers who are always there to assist people and to make sure that people feel welcome. And that experience, that sense of connectedness and belonging that happens hopefully the minute you walk through our doors. And then as you take part in the art performance, we're hoping that you are able to have your imagination ignited, and maybe it's an opportunity for you to see something within yourself that you haven't had an opportunity to really think about, or to all of a sudden have a perception or an idea that you've held on to challenged because there's a new lens, a new perspective, a new way to see that particular thought process. And you have an opportunity, again, to just kind of broaden your horizons or maybe try something new or engage and say hello to that person who you maybe aren't as familiar with and get to know their story.
Now, there's a couple of things. When you said this term, there's a couple of places my mind went. And one is someone, because I'm going to be honest, I never went to the PAC prior to just a couple of years ago when I got in this position. Mm-hmm. That was like my first time going to the PAC. But I've watched it. And what I've noticed is I love the inclusiveness of the different types of shows that are brought in. Because it seems like there's a little bit of any and everything for anyone. Like no matter who you are, you can find something that'll make you want to go engage. And then the other thing that I've noticed or have had the opportunity to even partake in is like these other community engagement things where performers come, like they seriously take time to meet with the community in, or it could be asking questions or teaching some type of lesson. And I mean, wow, how does that even happen? And how cool is that?
And that is, again, that's something that's very unique about what we do here at the Fox Cities Performing Arts Center is we try to have every performance that's on our main stage some form of community engagement opportunity that creates that connection, gives an extra level of understanding and appreciation for the performance you're about to see on stage. So we always ask our artists if they will participate in that. And what we really strive to do is then connect that with a community organization that also represents locally whatever that story is we may be telling. So we'll connect with African heritage, or we'll connect with the Building for Kids or the Boys and Girls Club, and it provides an opportunity for, as the community seeing people from around the world perform on stage, they know how they can continue that engagement here locally with the people and the organizations that live here.
There is an intentional effort to reach out and engage. That ask is powerful. When did the PAC open? How long has it been around?
We just celebrated our 20th anniversary season. We opened in November of 2002. So it's pretty incredible to think about all that this downtown, all that our communities have seen in these past 20 years, all the things that are changing and evolving, and how the Performing Arts Center, one of the things that we do is we make sure that we're looking at what are the issues facing our community and how can we use the arts as a safe language to enter into those conversations as a community and affect change. And so it's been wonderful to be able to be that partner with, again, so many organizations in the community. Depending on whatever the issue is we're facing, we can have some really meaningful dialogue around those issues by using the arts as the entry point.
You know, since I've had the opportunity to have, ask questions in the past and get to know a little bit about the PAC. And one of the things that like really blew me away and gave me pause was we had a conversation about visitors who have neurodiversity challenges and the things that are done so they can enjoy the shows too. Can you share a little bit about that?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked about that, Timber, because we take to heart our mission to be the multicultural gathering place for all to heart. And we often engage with the community asking what are the barriers. And something that has become more and more prevalent are people who are neurodivergent or may have different stimulus that could trigger reactions within them. And so we've been working to help with those barriers, help to remove some of those barriers or provide the tools to make sure that people are able to fully experience and enjoy their performing arts centers. So things like we've created a social story, which is very important for people who may have anxiety entering new spaces, especially when there's a lot of people in the space, right? So people can go on our website, they can see the social story. We're actually in the process right now of engaging a partner to help us enhance that social story. And it walks people through exactly what they can expect when they come to the Performing Arts Center so that they can visually see what at each turn of the corner, what they're going to encounter. We've trained our staff. They've got Purple Angel training. They're also receiving training on how to help and be a partner with people who may be experiencing anxiety or other emotions that they need help either coming out of the theater or just finding those ways to calm down. We had a wonderful donor step forward who is allowing us to continue to expand these services. So this year we will be adding sensory kits that will be available to anyone at the Performing Arts Center if they become triggered, depending on what that source is that has heightened their emotions. We will have headphones, sunglasses, fidget spinners, weighted blankets, all of these tools available to anyone who's at the Performing Arts Center to just help them feel calm and start to refine their center. And we also offer sensory inclusive performances. So these are performances specially tailored to hopefully address what some of those, there aren't as many sudden changes in volume. The lighting is a little less dramatic, the changes. So just all of those things that allow people who may be on the spectrum or may have other sensory overload triggers who can enjoy a performance. And it's made such a difference to community members and especially families who may have a child who is neurodivergent, and it's very hard for them to enjoy performances or the community in general as a family unit because they are never sure if all of their children will be able to fully enjoy the experience. So they're often making choices to stay home. One parent will stay home with that child while another parent takes the other children. Now they don't have to do that, and now they can come as a full family unit, and it's made such a difference in so many lives.
That's pretty amazing. I've also been lucky enough to go to other things, the PAC, where it's a gathering place for the community, where they're able to host events. Can you share a little bit about those things?
Yes. People are often surprised when I let them know that in an average year, the Performing Arts Center has anywhere from 400 to 450 events.
What?
Every single year, right? So it's more than the performances, and there's a wide variety of performances that people aren't always aware of. In addition to that, again, part of that mission to be the gathering place, we have a lot of nonprofit organizations that will have their major fundraising events in our facility. We have businesses that will do product rollouts for their team in our building. We have retirement parties. We have birthday parties, weddings, you name it. If you're bringing people together, odds are it has happened at one point or another at the Performing Arts Center.
Is there any signature events that tend to happen every year at the Performing Arts Center?
I think you said this earlier. What's fantastic about the Performing Arts Center is there's such a wide variety of events, and we strive each year to provide a diverse offering so that people of all interests can have an opportunity to engage and participate at the Performing Arts Center. So signature events, I would say a little less so. I think it's important to recognize there's something for everyone all the time. I think a couple things I want to point out. One is even those people who may think the arts aren't necessarily for me, we have an incredible speaker series that you can attend. And the speaker series, you can hear from an astronaut, you can hear from explorers, you can hear from photographers who have been around the world. And it's a great, again, just something very, very different that people may not always think about at their Performing Arts Center, and incredibly fascinating.
I actually don't think I knew about that. What other kind of things does the PAC host?
Well, one of this, as we were talking, a signature event that is, we just had our 7th, so we're 8 years into our Center Stage High School Musical Theater program. And this is a program we partner with high schools throughout Northeast Wisconsin. This year we have 31 high schools participating, where we provide opportunities to students who are in those schools' theater programs to attend workshops and master classes with touring artists when they're in our community. So these students have direct access to learn. They get vocal lessons or dance lessons or acting, speaking with accents kind of lessons, as well as backstage. So our union crew will lead workshops on what other jobs are possible in the theater. And that culminates every year in a Center Stage showcase. And that happens in May each year, where these high school students come together and they perform together on the stage in a Tony-style presentation. And it's just such a great opportunity to experience and celebrate this young talent that is thriving in our community. So I encourage people to check that out.
Can you share a story that'll help our listeners understand the impact of the Performing Arts Center?
Timber, honestly, there are so many stories. A new story occurs almost with every single event we do. But the one that I would like to share today has to do with, we have a Family First Nights program. This is part of a national program. We do it here in the Fox Cities, and we partner with the Boys and Girls Club to identify families who may not naturally have an experience to attend and participate in shows at the Performing Arts Center. And these families come together. We do activities with them as a group several times throughout the year. They get to attend performances together as well as participate in post-show conversations with the artists. And this last year, we heard from a father who enrolled his family in this program, and he talked about how powerful the experience was for their daughter to see other African American women perform on this stage and show their full beauty and talent, and the confidence it gave their daughter to start to realize, hey, if I work hard, I can pursue all of these other dreams. And to watch how she engaged in the program the very first gathering and compare that to how they as a family were engaging with each other and all the other participants. By the end of the program, the father was sharing how moved he was and how much they appreciated having an opportunity to see other cultures on the stage and then engage in a family conversation about what that meant to each of them and what were the things they picked out of it. He said it just was such a great opportunity for them as a family to enhance the conversations that they were having at home as well. So that's just one example. And again, it just happens time and time again as people see themselves represented on our stage. It deepens that sense of belonging and connection.
Yes. And to believe it, sometimes you need to see it. And representation, there's just not enough that can be said about the power of representation and the impact and influence it has on our youth in particular, but also on us adults.
Absolutely. That's right.
Is there anything the community can do to be helpful to the Performing Arts Center?
We are the community's gathering place. So there are several ways. I think first and foremost, I'm always encouraging people to try something new. There are so many events, and some people are very familiar with, right? People are very aware of the Broadway series. They're probably very aware of the concert artists, the comedians who come through. But check out some of the world music and some of the movement or dance performances. Try something new and see what it does to your heart when you're there. We love our volunteers. Our volunteers are our lifeblood, and we love engaging other people in those volunteer opportunities. So we hope that people will, if you have some time and you'd like to get involved, it's a great community that is formed between our volunteers as well. It's a really wonderful group of people. So we'd love to see more community members volunteering. And the last thing I'd say is, of course, we are a local nonprofit. We are working to subsidize our education performance ticket prices. We've kept those at $5 since we've opened for students. We have all sorts of access. The community engagement programs are all free, and that's made possible because of our annual partner support. So if anybody would like to learn more about how those programs come to life, and that's something that they feel they've been able to enjoy and appreciate, we'd love to invite them to be involved as a donor as well.
What are the different ways that people can learn more about the Performing Arts Center? And if they want to, if they have questions or want to engage, how do they go about doing that?
Well, first, to learn more about the Performing Arts Center, two things. One, definitely our website has a lot of information. While you're on the website, you can sign up for our e-newsletter. And that's a great way to get information every time we're offering these community engagement opportunities, when we're out in the community with artists offering public dance classes and these different opportunities to engage in chatbacks. So our newsletter is a great resource. If you have specific questions, you can email us at info@foxcitiespac.com. Our ticket agents are also always great resources, so feel free to stop by the ticket office in person and have an actual in-person conversation. Those are real things too.
I love your team. The team is a fabulous team. Is there anything that we didn't ask that maybe we should have asked that you would like to share?
I think you've done a wonderful job, Timber. I don't know that I have anything else. I just encourage people, you will be surprised. People always are when they get on our website or when they start having a conversation. Like you said, you weren't familiar with the Viewpoint Speakers series. We have a Spotlight series, which is in our Kimberly Clark Theater, which is the smaller space. That is such a wonderful experience because you're in this smaller room, so close with the artists, and it's this great exchange that happens with our artists. So there's a lot of great things for people to check out.
Now you get an opportunity for some shout outs.
Well, Timber, you mentioned first and foremost, we do have an incredible team at the Performing Arts Center. They are so passionate about the work that we do in service to our community. And I'm so grateful that we get to work together each and every day to make that mission come to life. Also, our volunteers, I talked about them earlier. Their smiling faces and what they do. Again, 400 to 450 events, and you need lots of volunteers for every single one of those. So we're so grateful to have this great team of people who are willing to, again, serve the community by being at all of these performances. And then I think our community partners are so important. They help us connect deeper into the community. They help us share our community's stories in connection with these international, national touring artists. And that's such an important thing. And we could not do that without these community organizations and individuals being willing to be a partner in making those connections.
Thank you, Maria. At this time, we're going to start wrapping up this episode. Appleton Engaged listeners, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for spending time with us. Thank you for giving us your minds and ears. Thank you for being willing to learn about another amazing resource that we have here in our community. We are blessed. We are a work in progress. So please, please, please feel free to reach out to us. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know how we can improve. You can also let us know we're doing an amazing job. We're not above that. We will take those compliments. But also, if you would like to be a guest or if you would like to recommend a guest, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at diversity@appleton.org. Once again, that is diversity@appleton.org. And here at Appleton Engage, we have one more ask, and that is if you would please take time to subscribe to the podcast. Please subscribe and leave us reviews. What this does is it helps to improve our analytics so more people can learn about Appleton Engaged. We think we have something really special here, and the more community members that are able to find out about Appleton Engaged, the more community members are going to learn about these amazing resources. So that would be super helpful. Until next time, stay thoughtful, stay curious, and stay engaged.